Welcome to the super fun game review podcast. Go Mega Ultra Between Review Show. Down. Welcome to MUBRS. MUBRS. Retrospective.
Getting retro in this piece.
Getting retro in this piece.
Damn Johns.
Before we begin tonight, this episode is brought to you by Deep Creek Glassworks. Durable, artistic glass, handmade by friend of the show, Tanner.
Since 2013.
Since 2013.
Yeah.
Crush-resistant boxes.
Yes.
Yep. Shipped free. Completely free.
Promo code SUPERFUN.
Yeah.
10% off.
Exactly.
For super fun.
Yeah. It's,
DeepCreekGlassworks.com. WORX.
Today.
You can find them on Etsy.
And check out the Instagram.
Yeah. Yep. They have an Instagram.
Yeah.
And a Facebook.
Yeah.
Yep. Facebook.
Faceboard. That sounds like a terrible Beyonce cover.
Yeah, we have all gotten beer glasses from Deep Creek, and I absolutely love mine. We have ornaments as well. It's just absolutely like a great product, so definitely go check them out.
Yeah, and support a small local business. And if you are in the central or southeast Pennsylvania area, check out the website, and you could probably find them at a craft show, because it's almost getting into like peak craft show season with Halloween and Christmas and whatnot on the flea markets.
Okay, so tonight the retrospective is going to be of the Microsoft Xbox 360.
Oh, I looked up the Sony Xbox 360. Fuck.
My favorite system.
Yeah, the Sega 360.
So, what was your guys' experience with the 360, getting it the first time? Because I think we all had to buy multiple of them, but we'll get into that in the development part.
I only had one, but
Must be nice.
yeah, I mean, that only lasted so long. But I didn't have it like right away. I think you were probably like one of my first friends that got it.
I was a day one adopter for it.
Yeah.
And, well, I got mine like a month after because GameStop fucked up a shipment, but yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't actually get one until they started coming out with the 360 Elites, and that was the version of mine that I got. But I always say I'm a proponent for the 360. I thought it was an amazing console, not to mention probably the most comfortable controller I have ever held, period. It's just like perfect ergonomic to my hands. It's like my hands and the controller made love.
Second to your penis.
Yes. Well, gotta love the vibrate on it. So trigger fire from my index finger and the giant finger. That's my penis.
Okay, all right.
As in the opening, I'm a wreck now.
Harry?
I went off the rails very quickly.
He said the thing.
Penis. we're like a bad Pee-wee's Playhouse where the word, the word of the day is always penis. Sometimes it's jizz here.
Okay, secret time.
Okay, secret.
Yeah.
Remember when I was like transcribing the episodes, like when
Yeah.
I first. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did start a project. It was way more work than I was anticipating, but I got pretty far into it, and I was using the transcriptions to find all of the times anybody said penis.
Oh, God.
And I was trying to make it into like a song. There are a lot of instances.
Oh, I'm sure. There's
It was-
probably thousands.
Look at my
was
face. It's
ridiculous.
surprised.
But yeah, transcribing everything to text was way easier because I could just like find
Yeah.
every
You can
mention.
find all the penises.
Yep.
Control F.
Find
Penis.
all my friends' penises.
I really
700
want to hear the penis song.
752.
Penis. My fucking penis. Penis.
Talking.
Jizz.
Sounding.
Fin dump. Boom, there it is. There's the penis song.
My work is done.
Fuck, did we just go platinum?
We did.
Just brown them.
Look out, Kid Rock.
Anyway, similar to Steve, I also started on the Xbox 360 Elite. I got the black console.
That's us. You know why? Because we're Elite, Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the jizz.
Nice.
I eventually got an Elite once my first one died.
Just the first one?
Well, my Elite died too, and then I bought an arcade. And
honestly, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I really wanted a PS3, but all my friends were on 360, so I felt peer pressured into getting an Xbox, and I could not afford to get both of them.
The 360 was the better console. I think towards the end of the life cycles, I thought the PS3 was just better at doing some things, but the 360, I believe, was the better console for that.
It had a better launch.
Yeah, it had a better launch. It
just-
was out 2 years before the PS3 was, and PS3 had some great games though.
Yeah, I only got a PS3 because Microsoft and I had a little bit of a falling out at one point.
Yeah,
This is one of the only systems that I felt differently about at the beginning than I did at the end of the console's life, though.
Interesting.
I had a change of heart over this console.
You didn't like it at first.
Well, no, actually, I liked it least at the end of it. I was kind of ready to jump to a new console.
Right.
And you know what? This is probably the perfect segment.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it in between games and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
So when it originally launched, it had a very simple
UI.
The blade
The
system.
blade
blades.
system was
that
very
was
cool.
so
Everyone
nice.
loved it.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the console, it was just very commercialized.
Yeah, there's fucking ads
Yeah.
everywhere.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
just pop-ups.
Yeah.
They completely changed the whole interface with that, and then it started getting to the point where you couldn't even play certain games unless you were logged in. Like even if you had them downloaded on your hard drive, you couldn't access the game unless you were connected to Xbox Live.
Right.
And that kind of drove me nuts. There's certain games that I can't play because I refuse to.
By Xbox Live, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I can't even touch the games, even though they're just sitting on the hard drive.
There is a way to do that. You have to actually downgrade your service to Xbox Live Silver, and then it'll still unlock the games for you to play.
It just feels clunky and
It's super
not easy to do.
Don't
Yeah.
do that on the console. Do that on the website, and then just relog in on the console, because like the 360, I agree, towards the end was like absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
At the beginning, though, like that console felt truly next generation compared to anything else. And I will say, for all of the faults that the 360 had towards the end, I think this console in general revolutionized what online subscription service, like what you actually get for that. Because like this wasn't the first online console, but it was the best one. And it completely changed how consoles moving forward did online connectivity.
Yeah. I think you're pretty on point in saying that.
Yeah, I think this is the real first console that opened up to that like online play.
Yeah.
On like a massive scale. Like
Right.
they were touching on it in PS2 and Xbox.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But it
yeah.
was
not like
it
this.
was harsh.
Yeah.
Like-
yeah. It was
like
a little
game lobbies on PS2. I don't know if you remember that shit.
Yeah,
that was-
GameSpy Arcade. Hell yeah, I remember that shit.
GameSpy Arcade. That's
So the whole
that sounds familiar.
oh god, GameSpy Arcade. Yeah, that they were like one of the people that like kind of like powered a lot of the PS2 servers.
Yeah.
It was so annoying. And, one thing that the original Xbox had really seamless online play, but there wasn't much in terms of like the Xbox Live offerings.
right.
What Xbox Live became on the 360 is like what like made the actual service worth it.
Right.
Because like I used to play my original Xbox. I hate that I can't just say the Xbox One. The original Xbox, I used to play that online all the time. I played a lot of Battlefield 2.
Okay.
Or Battlefront 2. Sorry, the Star Wars version. It was incredible. But yeah, let's get back to the 360. I've said enough pretty much about like my initial stuff. Joe, how about you?
I'll talk about it, and then I'll lead into probably the other discussion we were going to kind of get to
Well, I want to make like a pretty hard transition to development because I have some notes on actual development.
Then, yeah, I'm probably just going to sit out for a minute then.
Oh.
Okay, so you don't want to talk about your initial impressions with the console?
I didn't have any besides what we're going to talk about after you get to your notes.
So
Okay.
So for the actual development of the console, it was pretty standard. They knew they were going to make it. They started gearing up towards the end of the original Xbox's life cycle on Xbox Live as a service. And I started to notice that because I was still playing on the original Xbox, that like the actual service started getting like a lot better and things like that. That's actually what flipped me to the 360. So the 360 launched in November of 2005 on the 22nd. It's one of the first truly online consoles with a subscription service, Xbox Live, and it would go on to essentially just change. Like now, everything has a subscription service to play online.
Right.
The biggest thing with the development of this was the hardware failures. The Red Ring of Death saga, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Good day.
I know, right?
So, this is a real quick summary of it. About a year or two into the console's life, the Red Ring started appearing when players powered on their consoles. A few people reported it, and then more and more, and it became a giant fiasco with Microsoft at the center. Initial cost estimates were $1.15 billion in costs to Microsoft.
With a B.
The overall failure rate crept up to 16.4%, which is 1 in 6 consoles.
Holy shit! Yeah, that makes
I had a
sense.
few of those.
Yeah.
From the original runs of the 360. That is 13.4% higher than the legal limit for hardware failure. And that's why Microsoft had to make that $1.15 billion initiative. I was reading about this in depth more today, like just kind of looking for numbers because I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
The FedEx bill alone for shipping out the boxes to every player to then have you package them up and send it back, which I did 3 times, was $254 million to FedEx alone.
An empty box out to you.
Empty box out, shipped back, and then shipping the new console.
FedEx was happy.
Oh, FedEx was probably fucking thrilled.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking nightmare.
And then that's when you started finding like people trying to find the hacks and whatnot to try to fix their Xbox at home.
Put them in the oven and all that shit.
Yeah, oven, wrap it up in a towel.
Turn it upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna kind of interject here real quick with one.
That's all I had for development. So by all means, go.
So my first experience with Xbox 360, I got one right when it launched. I was in Korea at the time. I was stationed there in the Army, and I don't even remember if any of my friends in Korea had one, and I don't remember what the situation was here for you guys having one at the time. But I picked one up because, like, being in the military, you basically just have money to blow, and I did. So I picked one up, and about a month later, I got the Red Ring. And contacted Xbox, which was terrible because I was in Korea, and they were like, we can't do international. I'm like, technically, it's not international. It's an APO address. Like, it's still domestic address. Like, fucking deal with it.
Yeah.
So they never told me that they were shipping me an empty box to ship my console out. So I was like, okay. And they gave me an address to send my console. So I was like, okay. I went down to the post office, packed up my console, and shipped it out. And it cost me $200 to ship it because I was in Korea and I had to ship it to Texas.
Oh, no.
I remember you talking about
So
this.
they get my console, and like there was like some online portal or whatever to track your shit. And about 2 weeks later, I get a notification that, you know, it's getting mailed back to me. It's fixed or whatever, or replaced or whatever they did. It gets shipped to Hawaii and delivered to someone.
Yeah, I remember.
And that was it. I never saw it again.
It was gone.
And I contacted Xbox, and it took me 3 months to get a new one.
Yep.
And I was fucking pissed. I was like, not only did you take 3 months to fucking replace this thing, but I paid $200 to ship it to you initially when I wasn't even supposed to.
Right.
The worst part was I never even got the empty box. I only heard about the empty box after other people started telling me they had the issue too.
Really?
Did they ever like compensate you for the $200?
No. You know what they did do though? They gave me a copy of Project Gotham Racing.
Nice.
This will make it better.
Yeah, I was
Is that
like,
on your top 5 list tonight?
Is it an honorable mention?
I never even opened it.
Is it a genre is it a console defining one for you?
Oh, that definitely defined it for Joe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It definitely defined the console.
He
100%.
definitely thinks about Project Gotham Racing with the Xbox 360.
Yeah. So after that, I immediately got my PlayStation back and I took it out to Ajangni, which is the town outside of base, and I was like, "Hey, mod this. I'm not fucking giving them any more money."
You mean your 360?
Yes.
Not your. You said PS3.
Did I?
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah, fuck Sony too.
Yeah, fuck them both.
Oh, that's great.
Did end up modding that, but that's a different story. But yes, so I modded my Xbox 360 and I didn't buy any games after that. Oh, that's a lie. I bought Final Fantasy 11. But that was the only game I bought.
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, fuck you guys. You took way too much of my time and money out of this. And then I proceeded to get bricked 5 more consoles after that.
I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
They were all used consoles, at least.
Yeah.
So I was really just giving GameStop money at that point.
Yeah.
You know what?
Keeping them in business.
and like, yeah.
Between that and the money you didn't spend on games, you're like, this is fine.
Yeah, this is all right.
I remember first hearing about that. I'm like, wait, you can do what to this? Well, I mean, to be fair, my PlayStation was like my original. That was modded too. We already had that story about burning games and asking the Walmart employee, "We're putting a chip in the game system." Shut the fuck up, Steven.
Hear about that one on our previous MUBRS.
Yeah. Yeah. But when I heard about the, Joe's like, I modded my fucking 360. I don't give a shit. And I just get like the DVD RWs, I think, was it, that you had to get for the disc?
You could just, it was a dual layer DVD.
Okay. And it's like, oh yeah, no, you just burn them and then it goes. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
It was great. I brought a fucking printer that you could put CDs into and print right onto the CDs. So all my games looked like fucking legit.
Oh yeah, no, I remember the fucking binder you had. You'd open it up and like, this looks really good.
Oh yeah, you couldn't tell the difference between a fucking bought one and then.
Did you ever try to trade one in?
Nah.
I would like to hear that story. Next
The bottom of the you could tell.
Yeah.
You can tell very easily. All of the
Yeah, you find the young employee. I mean, how much are they paid at
So
GameStop?
the difference,
Yeah, really.
it was one of the things that they had to look at.
yeah. So there was the bottom and then the center of the DVD because usually
It
the
has
center,
the Xbox.
yeah, it
Yeah,
has
the clear portion, yeah.
The clear portion had an Xbox like hollow thing on
that's
it.
right. That's
Yep.
right.
They were one step ahead of you, Harry.
I'm sure you could have.
I'm sure it probably
Probably.
happened out there at some point. Someone's like, enough. You find an employee that just does not give a shit. They're gonna be like, I don't fucking care. Go
No,
ahead.
if you really wanted to scam that out, you would try to figure out what's the cheapest Xbox 360 game, and then print the most expensive trade-in game on top of it, and then give them a bunch of that.
Thank you. You just reminded me of something that I wanted to put down on my list there.
All right, let's move into our top 5 lists. Who wants to start us off with number 5?
I'll start off.
Hot.
Game I already mentioned.
Project
Gotham Racing.
I paused to let you guys get that in.
Thank you.
No, actually, Final Fantasy 11.
Oh, yeah.
I had it on everything, but this was the console I played it on the most, or I'll say the platform that I played it on the most.
Yeah. I do want to say, I think that is going to be like a theme where it's going to be like these games are like on all the platforms,
Multi-platform,
but
yeah.
what
Right,
is
sure.
it? Yeah. So that's
For me personally, you
Right.
know,
I think I think we should try our best to also signify in the console defining ones to keep it kind of fair for like if it played better on one of the consoles or the other,
Right,
or
right.
things like that. Obviously, exclusives need to be mentioned at certain points.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
All right, so
yeah, Final Fantasy. We've talked about it in length. I think a couple of times. I mean, put
thousands of
episodes.
hours.
Yeah, episodes.
Thousands of episodes.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
thousands of hours into Final Fantasy XI.
That was a lot of fun.
I remember Harry working third shift at Lukoil and having his laptop there, and I
used to play everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, "This is how I get to hang out with Joe."
Yeah, well, exactly. And I
was the
remember
best.
I was working third shift at the time, so when I would go on lunch, I would drive down to Limerick and just hang out with Harry for a little bit, and then we just stand outside and smoke cigarettes, and then I'd watch him play Final Fantasy XI with Joe, and then it's like, oh, tell Joe I said what's up. I got to go back to work.
Yeah, I remember I would either like try to like if we were like gonna party up or you were gonna like power level us, I would like set an alarm like, all right, I gotta wake up.
Everybody.
I gotta wake up at 2 a.m. to party with Joe for 6 hours, so I'm gonna go to bed at 8 and wake up at 2 and then go about my fucking day.
Right, that was the greatest. Oh wow, we all got lost in that game for a good bit.
Oh, my
that was a
God.
lot of fun. That was
So
good.
much.
I was putting 70-hour weeks in that game. Fucking easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
And it's like, oh, I did army stuff. What else am I going to do? Let me get some soju, and I'm going to play some Final Fantasy XI.
Pretty much.
All right.
Steve, number 5.
I'm going to say for me, number 5 is Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Nice.
The first one.
The first one.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
4 actually.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
But the
Call of Duty 4.
but Modern
yeah,
Warfare. Yeah, I remember that was really because I had some other like first person shooters I got into. I had played like some Halo, and that kind of got me going on like the 360, or I used to play on Xbox with the rest of you guys. And then once Modern Warfare came out, I'm like,
It just blew up.
Yeah,
They changed the way multiplayer games played, I think.
yeah, and I'm like, this is just like, it's fast paced. You have to move.
Right.
You have to look out for this. And trying to go back and play Halo, it's like I fucking can. It's way too slow.
Yeah.
And
Battlefield was out before that, but it wasn't like as like Battlefield is a way more tactical game, or at least all the games prior to that were, they were much more team based and things like that. But Call of Duty was like you said, it was very fast paced, very action, very in and out of games, like just
that, and the campaign was good. That was something that I could appreciate about like the first couple Modern Warfares was like the campaign, because I always try to make it a point to play the campaign first before I started playing any multiplayer, and I was totally cool doing that for that one. So yeah, that's my number 5 right there.
we used to play the shit out of that, like split screen. Even like after like subsequent Call of Duties came out, we would just like go back to that one and be like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna play this one instead."
It was so good. It was so good.
Exactly.
back when you could do split screen multiplayer.
I'm removing that from my games that defined the console generation.
I mean, we can still like glance over it.
Just saying. I think Harry was. What's your number 5, Harry?
So we're gonna go with XCOM: Enemy Within for number 5.
Oh.
You're gonna have some off the wall fucking games for me.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like versus me. Yeah. Like I just. Yeah.
Okay. That game is fun. So, Enemy Unknown was the original release, and then they did like an added bonus of Enemy Within, where it just kind of added some extra features to the game that just it was exponentially better
I agree.
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
They cleaned up the frame rate, which was the biggest issue and knock from the first iteration of it.
Yeah, and just the amount of customizable options added was just awesome. Because I think you could bring a mech along with you or something like that.
That was one of the DLCs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got the Enemy Within with all the DLC built into it or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So just a really cool game. I don't know if you guys have played it at all, but I know you have.
Yeah.
You're the one that kind of got me into the original.
Yeah.
But it's like you customize your team, and obviously I named all my players after my friends.
Of course.
And you can even like customize them to look like everybody, and like my team actually looked like.
I remember looking at your team a few times, and I was just like, "Oh shit!"
Makes you try harder to have them not die.
But yeah, no, there's like a permadeath system
Yeah.
in that game. So if you get killed, and it's very easy for your players to get killed, they're just
they're gone.
Dunzo.
And then it's just like, oh, well, it's going to be
Steve
Clark,
1, Steve 2,
yeah,
Steve
exactly.
3.
Junior, the third, the fourth.
But it's all about just kind of playing through the missions, leveling up your team to stay on par with how difficult the missions are getting. And I forget how that game ends. You eventually just overcome, I guess, the aliens. Oh, you kind of go to that mothership or something towards the end of the game.
Yeah,
it's like
you
one of the
stop
last.
the invasion pretty much.
But it has like this whole economic system where you can, if you don't help out certain countries, then you lose funding from certain countries. So you need to kind of have this level of balance with who you're helping around the world
Like
as
a
well.
fucking model UN
Dude, that's
integrated.
XCOM 2 has gone through a bunch of iterations now and has like a bunch of DLCs and stuff, and I keep seeing like the mega pack of it go on sale on Steam, and I think I'm just gonna fucking bite the
I
bullet.
downloaded a couple DLCs for that. I wish we would have played multiplayer on that more, because there's a lot of potential to have some really awesome matches on that. But I know that's my number 5. Great game.
Cool.
Clockmain.
My number 5 is going to be Gears of War 2.
Nice.
Oh.
I knew Gears of War was coming up tonight.
Yeah.
Not the original. I think Gears 2 was the game that I just couldn't stop playing of that series.
We played a lot of Gears.
I used to go over to Steve's with either a 6-pack or some weed.
Sometimes both.
And so, a lot of the time.
A lot of time it was both.
And like, I'd literally sleep over at your house, and we would play until like 3 a.m, sleep for a couple hours, get up, play more, and then like we would have like one of us would have to do something. But like, I used to do that every weekend. I did that, like as soon as that game came out, I'd lug my whole 360 up to your place.
Yep.
I bought a carrying case specifically because of Gears of War 2, so I could bring it to Steve's house easily and play that game.
Yeah. Oh, we played the shit out of that.
Oh my god, it just endless hours of fun. And like, there is nothing more satisfying in a shooter than cutting somebody in half with a chainsaw.
Oh, it was the
It's
greatest
so
thing. You just
good.
and then you just come out, just split them like right down the middle. It's like, holy fuck.
Oh, and you'd see somebody like shotgun rushing and like jumping from corner to corner, and you just hide behind a corner, and you're like, I know they're hitting here next. They hit there next. You just turn the fucking corner and just, oh man, just
Done.
rip them up. Like,
I think my favorite part of that series is how well they did the cover-based combat.
yep,
That was amazing.
That for me was what stuck out the most. Like,
Yeah.
no game, like SOCOM did it a little bit, but like Gears took it to the next level. And honestly, there haven't been many games to do it as good since.
no, there really hasn't. I think they mastered it, and no one else wanted to touch it. Honestly,
Yeah.
It was flawless. Like I never really had any issues with that game. I think it is truly one of the best for this console.
Which is perfect to move into my number 4, which is Gears of War 2.
Okay, there we go.
So we can just roll that right in.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah.
roll it.
Yeah, I mean, Clark and I played a good amount of the first one, but when number 2 came out, and they just really upgraded and focused in on some other features. I think 2 was the first horde mode.
Yep.
That they had on it. Some of the other like weaponry and things that were available to you that weren't in the first one really just took it to like a whole nother level. And we played the shit out of that game. And I knew even before I started looking through like the game list for everything, it's like Gears of War, specifically 2, must be on my top 5, and it fell into my number 4.
Of my original like nostalgia top 5, 4 of the games still remained. There was one game that edged something out, but well, I'll get to that one.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, I miss that game.
Me too. I'm sitting here just thinking about like, ooh, I know they have like collections on PC, and like we all have PCs that we could play them. We could like,
I don't know.
Honestly, that is one of my biggest regrets. I actually played through the first 2 with John, and then we never got around to
the third and fourth.
Oh, there is a fourth one. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a fifth one now, actually. I think.
I think so. The last one I think I actually played was 2.
I
Maybe
played-
a little bit of 3.
I played 3, but 2 was one of the ones that like you and I like sat down and like we played through campaign on easy, then we played through it on normal, then we played it through on the fucking legendary, and then it was like it was legendary was like the hardest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man, that game. Rest in peace, Carmine. 2.
Yeah.
Joe, what do you got for number 4?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Okay, all right. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I that's why I kind of chimed in as much as I did on when you brought it up. I was just like, I'm just going to get all my shit out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Fucking fantastic.
Harry?
Man, I'm tough on this one.
I like the
I've been
crinkle.
swapping around my list quite a few times here.
Same.
It has been tough. I'm gonna play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at this spot.
Okay.
All right.
I
Also acceptable.
the second one was the one that really got me into the series. Like I watched my
Rootin' tootin'.
yeah. Oh my god! I still remember playing some of those maps. I loved a lot of those maps in that game. And even when they brought like Crash back from the first one, I was like, "This is fucking awesome."
Yeah.
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 There was a couple maps they should have brought over from the first one, but like the airport level, running the loops
Especially
on that.
in the campaign, which remember, no Russian.
Yeah.
And just that opening scene was, and the only reason it would have been Modern Warfare 2, but I don't think I started playing that until I got the PS3.
Yeah, I remember you playing that a lot on PS3.
Yeah, but yet number 2, I have to say, is probably my favorite Modern Warfare. Period.
I'll be. I don't know if you guys remember this, but like standing in like the pre-order line, like the midnight release.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That line was massive.
Oh, I bet.
It was insane. It was wrapped all the way around the GameStop in Limerick.
Yeah.
So, for Modern Warfare 2, I did not go to the midnight release. I remember seeing pictures of it, and I remember you talking about it.
Oh god, the internet crashed for like everybody in the area too.
Yeah, that was one of those things I had already learned by that point where it was just like, it's not worth it because I won't be able to play it anyway.
That was my first like midnight release ever, and I was like super
Yeah.
hyped, and I was watching videos for months leading up to it.
You can
Like,
still play it, just the campaign.
I had Modern Warfare 2 and was playing it for about 4 hours before the release.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because
Yeah.
I had it on a modded 360, and the next morning, apparently there was a giant Xbox Live internet outage at 1 o'clock in the morning. So Xbox Live went out. I stopped playing. Woke up the next morning to my console not working, because that is also when they banned like 1.2 million consoles off of the network because of they were modded.
One of the first rounds of giant ban wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had like 3 giant ban waves to like combat modders.
I dodged that one. I don't know how. And I was playing it like well over a week early.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it
you were.
was insane. I remember just I literally was so hyped for that game that I went to a store, bought a Xbox Arcade, put my hard drive from my old one into my
Yes.
new one, and bought the game the next day. I
Yep.
was like, I'm not missing a fucking beat of this.
No, I got to fucking play it. I'll do it right.
No,
Okay.
I took the day off. I took the fucking day off from work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh no, I'm not doing it.
Sounds
I
like
gotta
what-
go find a new Xbox.
Sounds like when we skipped school to, what was that, for Halo 2?
Halo 2
Yeah.
release.
Yeah.
That
Did
was
the
a
same
good
thing.
time.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I have very fond memories of Modern Warfare 2.
Nice.
Fucking right. Oh, with like the dual knives, and you have like for your attribute for like the extra fast
yeah.
sprint. You're like your
I used
the
to
Banshee build.
I used to sit on the
Yeah.
floor. I used to have this like little curved black leather
Oh,
sit on
God.
the floor.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
chair,
yeah,
which-
you did.
Which Clark
Terrible.
eventually wrecked.
I did. I used to ride that thing.
Hey,
I used to just fucking sit on
just
it.
To be, it wasn't technically mine, so
It was one of those chairs that looks like a Nike swoosh.
Yeah, it just sits upright on the bottom bend of the Nike swoosh.
I just used to sit on that fucking thing and like have to peel myself off at the end of
It's like
a long
8 inches
shift.
wide.
Yeah.
I had no business sitting on it. I was sitting on it, and I think I just leaned back one
Well,
time.
you used to do the side lean where you'd put your like shoulder up.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and stretch
I would do like a sexy man pose on it, and just one sexy man pose just broke it one time.
I just snapped it.
Oh man, it had a long life though.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that
absolutely.
lasted a while.
No, that was a fun game. Oh, and that night we did the rootin' tootin'.
Yeah.
I think it was me, you, and John. And we
Yes.
just kept taking turns rootin' tootin'.
We had to unlock the Rootin' Tootin'. I
Yes.
remember
Yeah,
there was a
yeah,
road
yeah.
to the Rootin' Tootin',
There was.
and then there was just turns doing.
So just to explain what rootin' tootin' is, you're dual wielding revolvers.
So Yosemite Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And you have to put on all the attachments to make yourself go faster. And you have the
combat knife.
The combat knife.
Yeah.
And you fly. But it was just we were having a blast. Just
Oh my god. You were just flying around. All you'd have to do is pull the trigger once. 2 bullets would kill almost anybody, and anyone that you missed 1 bullet with, you could just knife them.
Combat
and
knife
you would
'em,
just
yeah.
keep running.
Yeah.
They used to call it
witching.
Yeah,
Witching. That was
Yeah.
it, not the
Witching.
Banshee. Witching. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my favorite build.
They nerfed it so fucking quick, but there was like a good 2 weeks where that was just the prime thing. Dude, I remember going into a match one time and everyone was doing it, and it was the most chaotic thing I've ever experienced in a video game.
I would love to be there for that thing.
There were people jumping out of windows and like doing because it kind of like, it would like,
The stab would like lunge you.
Lunge a
the
bit,
stuff-
yeah.
People would jump out of a window and lunge down like 10 feet and just stab somebody out of a fucking window. And you'd see people doing the dolphin dive, because that was something in Modern Warfare 2, where you could like dive and do the jump, and then they would get back up because the movements were so
Yeah.
quick. They would just like dolphin dive out a window, get back up, and as they're crouching, they would just do the lunge. It was just like...
That was like my favorite first person shooter time to live. Like just
Oh, man,
that moment.
so insane.
Yeah.
That was good.
That
Good
was
times.
really good. That was great.
Man, I'm like staring at this list, and I decided to like do my top 5 live for like the 5 that I have, and like really root them down, and just by process of elimination. And my number 4 is going to be Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. You're wrong, but
It's clearly Tony Hawk.
It's tough. It's tough. My top 4 games, one no one will probably have any reverence for, but like Left 4 Dead is one of the best shooters to come out on that console that wasn't Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like co-op shooters, there's none better.
Oh, it felt so good. That multiplayer,
Oh,
the
yeah.
versus mode where you had the 4 infected versus the 4 survivors.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Such a cool experience.
It was completely
Yeah.
revolutionary, and like we all got in and got to play some of the Back 4 Blood beta, and like it really seems like it's going to kind of take up the mantle of Left 4 Dead. I'm so fucking excited for that game. But like Left 4 Dead, our team, fucking Team Gas Tank, like it just all of our
it was
fucking,
Suck 'em a Bouse first.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
Suck 'em-
Suck
it
'em
was
a
Team
Bouse.
Suck 'em a Bouse, and then it was Team Gas Tank. It just, oh man.
Because we were actually in MLG for that.
Well, we were in
The miners
Battle
of the-
Dot,
Game battles.
Battlegrounds.
No, it was Game
Oh
Battles.
yeah, it was Game Battles.
Game Battle, yeah. But
Yeah,
I mean,
so we were in like the minor league for MLG.
and we made it through like several heats. Like we were doing really good. And then there was that one night that everything just went to shit. And then
Oh, it was a couple nights.
yeah, no,
What are you kidding?
there were a few, but I just remember it's just like because I forget if I was still working third shift at that time. It may have been. And it's like I need to wake up a couple hours before I go to work because we have a match at 9 p.m. and I need
and
to
you
make
work at midnight.
and I work at midnight.
I was
so-
always trying to schedule matches in between my classes at college.
Yeah.
Oh, good times, man.
Dude,
good
that
fucking
was
times.
that was really good. That was such a fun game.
All right. Number 3. Who wants to go?
Harry, you haven't started one yet.
Yeah.
Okay. This is where I'm putting. It's kind of tough to pick a game. I'm just going to say the Mass Effect trilogy. At
Okay.
this point,
Okay.
Yeah.
I like all 3 games for very different reasons. Honestly, like the first one. Like the first one's ending was amazing. It just blew me away. And then like the music in that one. Second one had best story and characters overall. Again, it had a really cool final mission that like everything was building towards that. And then there's one scene. I know a lot of people hate on the ending of Mass Effect 3, but there is this just epic cinematic at the end where all these forces are like coming together for the big war, and it just that was like
it's
a
so
jaw-dropping moment
Yeah.
where it's just like everything's been building to this fucking moment. It felt so good.
Here it is.
And we have reviews of Mass Effect 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten around to the
We have
third
not
one.
gotten
yet.
around 3, and I was not in for Mass Effect 2. As I remember, I was doing something. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
And this is all post-generation. Like, I didn't discover Mass Effect until we were way into PS4.
Yeah. No,
Generation,
I
so-
remember we were... You discovered it first for the podcast.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's cool that a game has made or a franchise has made my top 5 list post-generation.
Yeah.
One of the 6 tweets that I've ever made from my personal account, one of them was about gearing up for Mass Effect 3, and BioWare sent me a download code for the DLC for Mass Effect 2.
Really?
Yeah,
Check that out.
they sent me a tweet and DM'd me a code for one of the DLCs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Team Miranda, by the way.
I'm removing that from a game that defined the console because Mass Effect's it.
Yeah. All right. Number 3 for me is Guitar Hero Metallica.
Oh man,
Metallica specifically?
Metallica specifically.
I
Okay.
hate this
Played it,
game
right? Yeah.
specifically because my roommate in college.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, granted, when it came to Guitar Hero, I mean, I was pretty much on board from like the first game, and then I mean, we remember 393 sent down in like in the fucking living room, just clicking away even more, and just kept going and going. And then World Tour came out, and then that's when they introduced vocals and drums, and that's where it really just started exploding. So I would probably say, but that spanned, several different consoles for me. So that's why at least I feel like I have to go specifically Metallica just for the set list that they had on there.
Yeah, it was incredible.
It was fucking nuts. It's like being able to like Toxicity on the drums was like that was my shit. And then, I forget was 3? I think 3 had Dragon Force. I forget.
2.
yeah, too.
No,
3's World Tour.
Okay.
Yeah, Guitar Hero 2 had Through the Fire and Flames.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought that was 3 because that's where you started battling the.
I had Muse too, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Guitar Hero 2, and that's what I had. I have Guitar Hero 2 on games that define the console because I relooked at the set list.
Oh, okay.
And Guitar Hero 2 for me stands out as just like that was the one.
Gotcha. I just know like when I had the choice to go playing through, I think Metallica may have only been like one of 2 that I had for the 360. So
Gotcha.
I'll pretty much jump in there with that. But yeah, it's just Guitar Hero fanatic for the longest while, and I had so much fun with that game. We had so many hours and hours sunk into that game.
Remember when we started trying to beat songs with our feet with the heel?
Yeah.
And playing in your room?
It's like we'll just start clicking. It's like, all right, we need to step this up a little bit, so we'll just start clicking back and forth and going from there. And then it got nuts. I just remember I would get so baked, and then I couldn't focus. Honestly, I played better with that because then I'm just looking at the buttons coming up on the screen.
Hyper-focus.
Yeah, and that's it. I'm just clicking and going, and then I'd be stone cold sober. I'm like, why am I not as good as I was last night? And I was like, oh, hold on, let me rip this bong. All right, I'm back.
Yeah. Because you just zone.
I remember spending hours. I mean, obviously not. I'm just talking about Guitar Hero at this point. But I remember spending hours trying to beat Too Hot for Teacher with you.
Yeah.
You playing on the drums, me on the guitar, both on like expert, and just like we would spend. It was like 2 hours just on the opening like riff.
Retry.
Yeah. Just retrying the same 30 seconds over and over for hours.
Yeah, and then once you get past, you're like, yes, this is like the best accomplishment in my entire life so far. And then you hit like the first guitar solo and you fail again. You're like, ah, shit.
I don't know if this is Rock Band or Guitar Hero, but I drove to see John at college the one weekend up in Elizabethtown, and I remember his neighbors got the Oasis package. I don't know if that was Guitar Hero.
That was Rock
It was a
Band.
Rock Band,
Yeah.
but that's all they played for 48 hours.
That's rough.
Oasis?
Oasis.
I-
There was like 3 or 4 songs in the pack.
I could
and
not.
It was just
No.
we were losing our fucking
But
mind.
those kids
I
on
bet.
Suicide Watch.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Champagne Supernova.
Yeah, this guy. It's like, oh god, no.
I'm not
No,
hammered
stop.
enough for that.
Well, I'm just gonna go hang myself now. Thank you.
Jesus.
You just knock on their door with a steel chair. Shut the fuck! Beat them to death with their plastic instruments.
Yes. Please and thank you.
Oh, man.
Though I'm excited because I was more Guitar Hero than Rock Band, but
Same.
For I think it was either Christmas or my birthday one year, Morgan found like the entire set of Rock Band, and I'm like, cool, I'll still play. So I still have like all the instruments sitting down in the basement and whatnot.
Are they okay after the flood?
Yeah. Oh no, they're like the highest point in the entire basement.
Okay.
The
So,
most important thing in there.
so,
fuck the dryer.
What you're
Fuck the
saying
dryer.
is instead of recording a podcast on one of these Thursdays, we should come over and play some Rock Band. Is what
Yes.
you're saying.
There it is for
Yes.
us.
Yes.
Done.
Let's fucking do it.
Done.
I also still have World Tour.
Ooh.
Done.
Done. Yeah.
Done.
Let's just yeah.
Yes, please.
All right,
And thank you.
anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe, number 3.
My number 3 is Resident Evil 5.
Oh, I
It's a good
knew-
one.
yeah.
Yeah.
You were hardcore into that one, Joe.
I loved that game. It was fucking amazing. The co-op on it, I mean, like, the game wasn't long, but just like getting your runs down and you know, min-maxing it and doing the campaign with others and unlocking everything, and it was so much fun.
Joe and I unlocked everything in that game. Everything.
I don't think I ever played 5.
Unlimited everything.
Yeah.
It's not that good.
No. Okay.
How dare you?
I'm kidding.
Because another than what we did for the podcast, I think the last one was 4. Because I think you had that came out, or you were playing it at 393, and that's when we stayed up
Yeah,
all
that
night.
that was 4.
and that was the dart in the neck, the explosive darts.
Oh, dart in the neck.
Oh, dart in the neck.
I'm like an old school Resident Evil fan. I like the first gen, and like 4, 5, 6 or second gen.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you there. Like I prefer the original gen, but like 5 to me sticks out even more so than 4 because of like how fun the co-op is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Was that like online co-op?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
All
it was
right.
online co-op. You know, it was matchmaking, so you didn't have to play with friends.
Oh, all right.
But Joe and I pretty much played the entire game and beat the entire game couch co-op.
Oh, that's sweet.
It was,
Yeah, it was
a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Missed the days of couch co-op.
Yeah. Moving Out just got an update where it allows for couch co-op up to 4 players.
The original Overwatch is the PlayStation Game of the Month for September, which added multiplayer.
Overwatch?
Overcooked.
Overcooked.
Did I say Overwatch?
You said Overwatch.
Wasn't Overwatch already multiplayer?
Yeah, I was like, I think that's only multiplayer.
I don't think I was in when all of you guys were grabbing that. So I'll
Playing
be,
Overcooked.
Yeah.
I didn't get the original Overcooked either.
Yeah,
That was the one that we did the same thing with Moving Out, where I think Carrie and John bought it, and then there was no multiplayer, so they turned around and bought the second one immediately.
Yeah,
I think I have Overcooked too because I played with you guys as
yeah.
well.
Overcooked 2 was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, but the PlayStation Plus one is multiplayer and all the DLC for the first one. Number 3, Clark.
My number 3 is going to be Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Nice.
It was pretty much a launch title, and I played that literally until I finally packed up my 360.
No.
The Elder Scrolls Oblivion is the best Elder Scrolls game. Fuck Skyrim. Like, Oblivion just was so much better. Every single thing about that game was just like, you could explore and literally more so than in Skyrim, you had like total freedom. So like even you could just like go off and like you would randomly do something and it would just trigger a chain of events that would kind of bring you back in. Like it would always kind of try to like bring you back into the story. But like I killed someone while they were sleeping, and like I was like playing a thief. So I like killed someone while they were sleeping, and then I like slept the next night, and then there's just like an assassin standing over me, and he's like, "Hey, I saw what you did. I want you to join the Brotherhood." And it's just like I have never beaten the Oblivion storyline, but I definitely have like at least a save file that has like 240 hours in it.
Oh wow, okay.
Oblivion I played religiously when it came out, and just I played it so fucking much.
Huh. I don't think I've ever actually played Oblivion.
It is fucking fantastic. I think it's one of the best games on.
Yeah, I haven't played Oblivion either.
360.
I've played Morrowind and Skyrim.
Morrowind was great too.
Yeah.
Skyrim's all right.
Yeah.
But Oblivion was my favorite. It was great. It was a great game.
Number 2s?
Yeah, let's move on to number 2s.
Do you want to lead us off with number 2 since you finished off for the last 3?
Sure.
Cool.
My number 2 is going to be Skate 2.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yes. I think it's... Don't hate me, Joe. I think it's the best skateboarding game ever made.
Whoa.
It's completely different.
Yeah, it's it's completely different from Tony Hawk.
Are you backing up? Because I don't want to...
I also don't think Skate would happen without Tony Hawk.
No, totally not.
But yes.
100% not. It's just a completely different game, and I think it's a different kind of skill to play Skate versus Tony Hawk, because you have to actually do the tricks with your right thumb on the joystick.
I remember playing
Sliding
it
your
with
foot
you
and
or
everything.
trying to, and it was like a back and forth, and I'm like, all right, this is a little more like in depth rather than just like go up this ramp and hold like R2 circle and spin for 540 or something.
Right. Like I played that game so much, like I would like edit the area, because like instead of like creating your own skate park, you could just like run over, pick up an object and drag it like around.
Yeah.
So you could like make these like crazy, like they had Mega Ramp in it as well, which was always like fucking amazing. I have done a trick in that never registered, and you could take video of in game. You could take video of like the tricks you were doing. I did a double backflip and it didn't register. It just did backflip. But I actually did 2 full rotations on a Mega Ramp. And I was like, this is fucking amazing. And like, you could like stop the motion and like look, and like my head cleared on the second like backflip by inches off. Like it was I don't know. There's, if you've played Skate, you get it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't played it, then like it's hard to explain what makes it so different from Tony Hawk, and why, like, for me, I resonated to that like way more. Like I became way more obsessed with Skate.
I compare Skate versus Tony Hawk the same way I would compare Street Fighter to Fight Night. Like Fight Night round 3.
I could see
like,
I could see that.
They're still fighting games.
Yes.
One's more arcadey and one's more simulation. And I think Skate and Fight Night fall in the simulation, whereas Tony Hawk's obviously more arcadey, and that's a perfect analogy.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah, good job.
Nice.
All right. Who's up for number 2?
I'll do number 2 just because it was said. My number 2 is Left 4 Dead.
There you go.
Hot.
Yes. I mean, so many good memories, and just being able to play Back 4 Blood a little bit. Started like kicking that up a little bit more again. I'm like, oh, I remember this.
Yeah, it feels
Getting
so
that itch.
familiar.
No, it really does. And then especially once, just because I know we talked a little bit about it, but now that I'm thinking, like when we were doing some of the competitive, and there were certain ones like with the building that was under construction, and you had to start moving through, and then finding like the certain spots, like as the smoker across that pit, and as soon as they came up,
the instant death
and
spots,
you grab him and already like pull him over, and then he's like grappling for his life, and it's like, all right, are you going to try to go help your buddy a little bit? Because if you do that, we have another hunter like sitting right over here ready to pounce you and whatnot. And just the technical, like tactical things that we came up with playing that game, that was so fucking good. God, I love that game. But yeah, that is a solid second on my list.
Joe?
My number 2 is Guitar Hero World Tour.
Ooh.
Yep.
Good game. Good game.
Reasons we already discussed.
Yeah.
Harry, I think I know your top 2.
Oh, I want to say one more thing about Guitar Hero.
Oh.
One of the things that really stapled it for me, Guitar Hero really was like the nail in the coffin, or whatever.
Yeah.
Was the fact that having the modded console was amazing because I had a ton of custom versions.
Oh right,
yeah.
Of like, people would make the songs and be like, oh, this is a modded version of Guitar Hero 3 with completely different songs, and playing that was awesome too.
Coming around to the brickening of like when the Hammer Band came down.
The bricketing.
That's what got me, because I had the modded game and I would buy the DLC songs, and they would send out the songs and it would be compared against like the serial number of your game or something. And they were like, oh wow, it looks like about 25,000 copies of this game is showing up off of this one download, so we're just going to ban them all. And then you boot it up and it's like, you have been banned from Xbox Live, and it's basically
have a nice day.
Yeah.
Harry, what are your top 2?
Yeah.
So my number 2, I'll just bang out my number 1 after this then.
Yeah.
My number 2 is going to be Alan Wake.
Okay.
Did you guess that?
Is that one? Okay. Did you have that as number 2 or number 1?
I had that as number 2.
Okay.
Because number 1's Left 4 Dead.
Right,
I'm shocked, though, because an earlier prediction I had was that he would have State of Decay.
It's an honorable mention.
Okay.
We'll
All
get
right.
there.
But
But
yeah,
Alan
Alan
Wake, I still remember the day playing it with Clark. We did 4 out of 5 chapters that day. And I remember both of our girlfriends at the time were like, you're just going to fucking play this all day? I was like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that is the plan.
And what really upset me is, I don't know if you ever saw like the
came over to your-
cinematics in this
we
game.
came over to your house at 10 in the morning and left at 10 at night. We were just trying to hammer that
Yeah,
game out, but
yeah.
we were also trying to get everything. We were exploring every nook and cranny.
Oh yeah, it was just such a good cinematic experience. For you guys who have played the game, there's a scene near the end of the game where all the secrets are revealed. You finally get to the Lady of the Light, and then you open the safe and you see the clicker, which he talked about in like the first or second episode of the game. And like this like music cues in just such an amazing way. You see the safe close, and then the chapter ends, and Clark was like, I have to go home.
I got to
I
go.
was like, what? Excuse me? Just such a cool, awesome story. The characters are amazing. That game blew me away and set a standard for storytelling in games for me.
So good.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My number 1, Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we need to discuss any further, because I think we did a whole episode on it. We've talked and gushed about it tonight.
Well, we technically did Left 4 Dead 2.
No, we did
No,
a
we did
Left 4
Left 4
Dead
Dead.
1 episode
The
where we
first
did a
one.
LAN at my house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys played it the
I-
night you recorded.
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
we did 2, though.
No,
we did
no.
the
I
first
we did
one.
one. Was it just one?
I have
Okay,
never
all right.
played 2. So, no.
okay.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah.
Solid game.
Solid fucking game.
I want to name my first kid Zoe.
Who wants to go number 1 next?
I'll go number 1.
Okay. I was going to say, nobody's going to say mine.
No, okay.
ahead.
My number 1, which probably took the most amount of hours ever put into a 360 game for me, is Fallout 3.
I knew it.
Guessed it.
Yep. 100%. Knew that was coming.
Yep, because as soon as, even like when my console got bricked, I could still play it.
Yep.
So I was totally fine with that. I can't tell you how many hours upon hours this was my fucking game. If there was something that I could do, that I could find, unlock, figure out a new thing, done.
Nice.
I'm all in. And then as soon as because eventually my 360, the disc reader failed,
Yeah.
and so I couldn't play any discs anymore. And then it's like, all right, well, absolutely, for PS3, I need to get Fallout 3, and I had to start over again. But I was like, oh no, whatever shall I do? I'll just get everything back again. But yeah, that was that's.
Oh no, I got to nuke Megaton again.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, heading up to Tenpenny Tower. Oh, gotta kill this old fucker again.
How many Wasteland refunds can I do?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and then just like between all the different ones, like, I'll use small guns, I'll use big guns. I'm just gonna fucking punch everything to death. That's a fun one where you just walk up and it's like, oh, Raider. Okay, cool. Blap! Head flies off, and it's like rolling through the wasteland. It's like another one.
I spent a lot of time on PC with a modded version of Fallout 3 where you could like just open up the console. You could teleport yourself to a room that had every item in the game.
Oh,
it was fucking nuts. Like, it was just so ridiculous.
That sounds like fun.
Like, I was running around with like the best armor in the game, and then like the Deathclaw Gauntlet, which is like pretty much an instant kill to anything in the game because it has like a ridiculous poison.
Oh yeah.
So it would just be like swipe, and they could be like the highest health, and it was just like it had like a weird like 80% like chance of death. And it's just like swipe. Oh, you didn't die. Swipe, dead.
It was gross.
Yeah, like
gross.
super mutants just run up to him, just swipe, dead.
And then there's like the gargantuan mutants.
Yeah,
I remember shitting my pants the first time I saw that because I would eventually. It's like, I beat the game, start playing it a few more times. Like, all right, what did I miss? So I start looking at stuff online. They're like, oh, super gargantuan mutants. I'm like, all right, that sounds interesting. And I'll never forget the one. There's like somewhere random spot out in the wasteland that there's like a shopping cart that's been like tipped over, and there's like a little teddy bear in it, and you just walk up to the teddy bear and you interact with it, and then it like focuses in and then comes back out, and then you just hear dum 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 dum, and you just turn around. Here he comes. It's like, the fuck, and it's like, what do I do? What do I do? Nuke, nuke.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully you have a mini nuke at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, thankfully that was always being carried around a little bit, as long as it fit in, the amount of weight that I could carry by that point.
I always made room for it. I was like, I will carry one gun and the nuke if I have to, but like, I'm always carrying this because the super mutants were fucking scary. Yeah, that's the first time that I thought I almost red ringed my console.
Yeah.
Was I shot you know how you could do the cluster nukes?
Yeah.
I shot one of those out of the big boy. And it hit the super mutant, but I was too close to it, so my whole screen went white like it does. Like the thing. And it just like it was like going, and then I just heard my Xbox stop processing, and I was like, couldn't press anything. Then I saw a menu come up, then everything on the screen blurred, and then my console just shut off. I was like, oh no.
Super overload.
Yeah.
That's rough.
I was very scared. I was like, no. Who else has ones to go? I have one still.
I have one.
Yeah.
I'll go. My number one is actually Grand Theft Auto 4.
All right.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Definitely is.
I loved the story mode on it. The DLCs were great.
Yeah. Hey, cousin.
The multiplayer was fucking fantastic as well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing the multiplayer with you.
So much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun on the multiplayer. Like, obviously the first like multiplayer Grand Theft Auto game, but like it was so much better than what the bullshit they're doing now with like the role playing and everything like that. Because it was like team deathmatch and like, free for all and shit like that.
It wasn't open world.
It wasn't open world, right? It was like staged in environments within, the GTA 4 world.
Yeah.
But they were closed off environments.
I like some of it. It got a little too crazy in 5 with like how open world
the beginning of the online play. That's when it was really good. And then it was like for the first like couple years that was okay, and then it just turned into something completely
totally different.
Yeah.
Joe and I, we were playing that last year?
Yeah.
We were playing a ton of
really?
GTA 5 online together.
Yeah.
And just like there was a lot of fun stuff to do, but like literally it got to the point that like now if you join in with a fresh character, if you don't spend $40 on money, like you're fucked.
Oh yeah.
You won't do anything.
It's not going to get you that far.
Yeah, it
Not
really
at all.
doesn't. You have to Like, if you're really going to do it, you're going to, you have to, spend money to make money in the game and have the game make money for you so that you don't have to do that again.
Yeah. I just never got the transfer over from PS3 to PS4, like, switching my character over, because I remember Benedict had one of those random hackers that came in and it's like, hey, everybody in the lobby, here's, $500 million plus something like that. And then he's like, oh, here's a bunch to you. And I had a bunch on my PS3 one, and I just never actually got the game and had my stuff transferred over to the other one. And by that point, you need a shit ton of money to be able to keep up or do anything. Other thing, you're just going to get griefed to death.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I liked 4.
Yeah. No, that
fantastic.
was a good one. Yeah, I did it. I really did like that.
A fun memory from playing 4 with you was it might have been before the game came out, because I remember that was another one that we played for a little bit before the game came out. But the servers were active.
Yeah.
You could play online, and we were playing a match. And do you remember when we found that you were on a bike and I was on the back of the bike with a rocket launcher, and we kept ramping and just shooting the rockets down at everybody chasing us? Oh my God. I just remember being on the back of a bike, and he's controlling the bike, and I'm just trying to be on the back of it with a rocket launcher. And you know how chaotic the rocket launchers are in that game. And I would just be I would shoot it, and it would just be spinning like missiles. It was just ridiculous. It was so much fun. My top game of the Xbox 360 is Dead Rising.
Oh, wow.
The first one?
The first one.
I don't know. Go back and play with those controls and that AI.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That game is just so much fucking fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of those games that just I loved the freedom that you could have in you could be really silly. You could play it very seriously. You could play it very silly. The psychos in it were great. Getting the dual wielding chainsaws off the fucking John Wayne Gacy serial killer clown psycho. Yeah. There's just so much stuff in that game, and every single piece of that game oozes character to me. It so much so that the controls I can kind of forgive a little bit. The graphics were really good. The graphics and the processing in it was like an Xbox 360 killer, pretty much.
Yeah.
That game could, if you played it too much, kill your fucking console.
Yeah.
Because it would hum like a fucking jet when you were playing it. But man, it was so worth it.
I almost forgot about that game. That was so much fun.
Yeah, I absolutely love that game. And I remember Harry and I would take turns because we were trying to get him the one achievement to kill the entire population of the state that you're in, Colorado or something.
I finally got that
Willamette.
achievement.
Yeah. Yeah. But we would just go steal a car and just drive in the underground.
Up and down the tunnels.
Up and down the tunnels. Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. But yeah, I absolutely love that game, and it was for a really long time an exclusive just for 360. It eventually came out on PS3 after 2 came out.
Yeah.
That game was one of those ones that I saw, I think, in a magazine, and was just I can't wait for this to come out. And I fell in love with it the second I started playing it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good choices, boys. Good choices.
Indeed.
So, who wants to start with honorable mentions?
I'll go through. I have quite a few that, nobody's kind of talked about yet at all.
All right. I only have 2, because I wasn't too extensive in the list, but my other lists are short.
So I have Skate.
All right.
Saints Row.
Oh yeah,
all right.
I'll remove those from my list.
Good call.
Saints Row 1 and 2 was another game that I played a bunch with Steve.
Yeah.
Mirror's Edge. Max Payne 3.
Ooh, nice.
Bionic Commando Rearmed.
I'm removing it now.
There you go.
Rearmed specifically, just to be clear.
Yes, it needs to be rearmed. That's the good one.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of where it got its start, isn't it?
I have that as a game that defined the console because it was the first.
Right. Okay, that's fair.
And the reason that I have it as defining the 360 over the PS3 is because the PS3 version was awful. The same thing goes for Fallout 3. Fallout 3 when
I
it
remember you
first
saying this
came
in an
out.
episode where it was like the free running didn't work as good.
Yeah, the you would fall through the levels. There was just a bunch of bugs.
Yeah.
And this happened a lot when there were like two games that would come out. It would always be smoother on the 360 than it was in the PlayStation, and that switched oddly enough the next console. But Fallout 3 was like damn near unplayable for like 7 months. The first like 7 months that it was that came out and was on PS3, like you couldn't play it. So
Gotcha.
Fallout 3 to me is a 360 game and always will be a 360 game.
So I have two more. Clark, I think you're with me on this one. Lost Odyssey RPG.
Yep, I have that as one of my honorable mentions.
And then another RPG, Blue Dragon.
Oh, Blue Dragon's a good one too. I don't have it on my list, but
don't
yes,
think I've
Blue
ever
Dragon's
heard
a
of
good
that
one.
It's a great RPG.
Yeah.
There is unfortunately no other place to play it. It's never been ported to another Xbox. There's no Windows version.
Just
Running it on an emulator doesn't work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Like
So literally you've tried everything.
Yeah, you can only play it on a 360.
Huh. Gotcha.
But it is fantastic.
I remember when you got Blue Dragon. You got it for Christmas, didn't you?
No, got
okay.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Like all of the titles he got.
I got it. All right, so I have a really short list since many things have been mentioned, so we'll stick with this. One honorable mention is Katamari Forever, and that's just because that's probably my favorite Katamari game out of like all of them.
I'll agree with that.
And then I had to add it when you were like, all right, what's like the cheapest 360 game I could find?
Sneak King.
It's Sneak King.
And I knew it.
Is that the 360? I thought that was Xbox.
The Xbox 360.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was 360.
Yeah.
I remember being excited. I didn't get it from Burger King. When I saw it in a GameStop for like...
That's right. I was like trying to figure out what you were talking about. That's right. I remember
for
this now.
$3, I'm like, I want this game because I want to be able to hide in a trash can and surprise people with cheeseburgers and make
Was
them
it any
eat
good?
them. I enjoyed it as...
It was $3 good.
Yeah, it was $3 good. I mean, also, this is at the time where I was smoking a lot of pot, so I would just get big and like, I'm going to start giving some people some cheeseburgers.
That was when the King was really big into the commercials and everything, too.
Yeah.
You'd play one level and be like, oh my God, I wish someone would sneak up on me and give me a cheeseburger.
Yeah, no, nailed it. That's exactly. It's like, this is just all my dreams, like, pushed into one game. But yeah, I just, for being just such like an obscure, weird, stupid game, I had so much fun with that thing. That and another honorable mention I would have, which I think was only available off the arcade, was called The Mall. And it was like this giant purple slime monster, and you played as like this other little character, and it was kind of like a cutesy. It was probably geared more towards kids, but again, I didn't mind it. And just characters screaming like "Mall," and this giant. You scoot across the screen a little bit, and you'd have to go on little adventures, and I enjoyed that. The Mall.
I don't know what's happening in that game.
No.
Yeah. No, if you start looking at it, it's like, okay. It's like, yeah, this is definitely geared towards like younger kids to probably play, but I still had fun.
Really
Fuck
high
it.
guys in their mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotcha, Steve.
Early
Nailed it.
20s by that
Early
point.
20s, yeah.
Yeah. Let's be fair. But
Harry,
yeah,
do you want to
really
go with your
high.
honorable mention?
Yeah. I'm going to cruise through my list real quick. Final Fantasy 13. I know it's not an exclusive or anything, but I
That's
saw
where
it
you
on this.
played it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
I played
yeah.
it, and
Yep.
that game blew me away at first. I eventually beat it. I loved it at first, and then I fucking hated it, and then I was like, it's not that bad.
I'm going to buy the
Yeah.
second one.
There you go.
I played the whole trilogy. So
Nice.
Titanfall, the original. Battlefield 3, I got great memories with you playing Battlefield 3 on rush mode.
Oh, God.
State of Decay. I know we mentioned this before. Not
you
as
go.
good as the second one, though.
The second one is great.
But
It's an honorable mention.
it
We
is.
gotta
Yeah.
play more of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Once you get all moved in.
Dead Rising 2, I wanted to mention because I enjoyed it a lot more than the first. Dead Space, Fear, Lollipop Chainsaw, And then 2 I wanted to talk on real quick. Dragon's Dogma. I don't know if anybody has ever played this.
I've heard of it.
I sunk a shit ton of time into this fucking game. Because I never played like Oblivion or Elder Scrolls or anything. This is the one that captured me. And I was very engrossed in this game. And then like once I finally like beat the game, there's this like whole end game content that just... I stepped away from the game. It's like there's too much now, too much.
Overwhelmed.
And another game, it doesn't seem like a lot of people that I've talked to have played this. Is Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution specifically.
I played a lot of Civ games, but not that one.
Awesome game. It was just very easy to get into the game. Like I know they're pretty complex games, but this made it just a very seamless learning process with getting into this game. And I think I played with every possible leader, won in every possible way. And a lot of times I just wanted to extend the game, and like I was ready to end the game because I had the nuke or something, but then I'm like, nope, I want to go for a different victory. And like, I'm going to do it through culture. Or, like I just, great game. Just awesome game. Just tons of different strategies to play that game.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Quick shout out to Trials HD. I just remembered that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Trials HD.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, you're on like the stunt motorcycle. It's like side scroller, like where you have to control your position on the bike as well as your throttle.
Do you remember when we saw Nathan Barnett?
Yes.
That was the game that he played at his press conference.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I fucking love that game. And Army of 2 was pretty
Oh
neat.
shit!
All right,
Wow,
I'm gonna
game.
remove Army of 2.
Sorry. I was just saying. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, oh fuck, I remember playing that with Clark too.
I played that one with
Yep.
John. I played a lot of games on 360 with John.
Yeah,
I played a lot of games on 360 with Steve. Well, all of you really, but like also Kevin. I played a lot of games with Kevin.
Yeah.
Is that it for your
Yeah,
honorable
I'm done.
mentions? Okay. My honorable mentions are Hitman Blood Money. I think that kind of put them on the course they're at now, where they're like releasing this kind of like episodic content, and I really love the way that they're doing that. You just buy the $60 game and more content comes out, and what they do is like when new content comes out, they also update all of their old content. They're like, we'll run special events and special assassinations and like we're adding missions and stuff like that to the old area, but also there's an entire new area with all new missions and stuff. Love what they're doing. But like Hitman Blood Money really took the leap from PS2 to Xbox 360 in a big way.
dig it.
Civilization Revolution. I fucking loved that game. I thought it was fucking incredible. Harry and I played a bunch of that together. Batman Arkham Asylum. I think that was something that was huge.
Can't stand those games.
I never got into them personally, so I can't love or hate it.
Combat's really boring to me.
There's a game called Enslaved Odyssey of the West, where you kind of play like a Monkey King. It's very, very Japanese myth based.
Okay.
But you're like essentially playing like the Monkey King who's like been enslaved, and like you're trying to like essentially get your freedom. But it is the precursor to Horizon Zero Dawn because it does the same thing. It has the high-tech robots in an old-school world where everyone's running with tribes and stuff like that.
Huh.
I always thought that Horizon had that, and I was like, they ripped this off of Enslaved, and nobody knows about this game. Like, it is one of those games that, like, no one's ever fucking heard of. I still have it. Like, I love that game. Far Cry 3, I think, is another amazing shooter. I spent a lot of time playing that. Kane and Lynch. Catherine.
I never played it. I remember you talking about it. I think I played a demo of it.
It's a puzzle RPG. So you're like trying to climb these towers, and as you're climbing the towers, like something's like rising up underneath of you, and based on your actions of like how your conversations go, you're pretty much like trying to navigate a relationship and an affair outside of this, and every time you go to sleep, this is your nightmare, is like climbing up this like puzzle tower, and you're trying to like navigate and get as high as you can before different things eat you, including a giant like baby fetus.
Oh,
It's a really odd, weird anime game,
always
but like
terrifying.
it's actually incredible.
Huh.
And my only other honorable mention is The Darkness.
I am surprised that Steve didn't mention a game tonight.
Okay.
Well, we still got console defining to go through. You might mention it there.
I don't think he will.
I don't know. Go ahead. What?
No, that's fine. We'll wait until after
Well, yeah,
console
let's wait.
defining, and then we'll say. Because I don't think it's a console defining, but
Yeah.
Somebody want to start with console defining then?
Yeah.
So we're talking about it?
Yeah.
Sure. You want me to go down my list so that way you can be surprised that it's probably not on here. So all I had for console defining was Gears of War, which I know we already brought up. See, I did have Halo 3, but then at the same time, it's just because it's a Halo game. The only other one that I would actually probably put out either console defining / maybe this should have been under honorable mentions was a Prototype.
Prototype's a good game.
That was the one that I remember sinking a lot of time into, and I remember that being like a pretty fucking intense, like kind of like city, scrolling game type thing. So yeah, that's what I had there. What were you surprised at?
I'm surprised you didn't once mention tonight because I kind of remember you playing a fuck ton of it. But Dead Island.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Dead Island was a great game too.
I didn't like
was
it.
that
I'll be
for me
honest.
for 360? I thought I had that that was PS3, I think.
Oh, did you have it for PS3?
I think that was
I played that on
PS3.
PS3 as
Okay,
well.
maybe
Yeah.
then that explains.
No,
that
yeah,
then.
that would be why, because that would have been. But no, you're right. I did play a.
I just
ton.
remember you talking about that game all the time.
Yeah, no, I think that was PS3 because you know what? It started because my friend Stephanie, she had the game and let me borrow it, so I started playing because she had PS3, and then eventually I just got my own, and I played a shit ton of Dead Island on that one. But yeah, it's one of those where they were on both consoles.
Fair enough.
Nice. I guess I'm going next. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, a couple here. I had Fallout 3 / New Vegas.
All right.
Left 4 Dead. I also have Burnout Paradise.
Oh fuck yes! How did I forget about this on 360?
Oh fuck!
Yeah. Oh dude, I played so much of that game. That was
Burnout
so
Paradise
good.
was a great game.
So good.
Yeah.
Great soundtrack too.
And then another one that I'm kind of surprised didn't come up at all is the Orange Box, which was the first time Portal was released.
Oh, okay. I didn't get into Portal until years later.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually think I had Portal 2 first for like PS3, and then eventually I went back to play the first one.
Yeah, the Orange Box had Half-Life 2 and Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Portal and maybe one other thing I can't remember off the top of my head.
Was it Team Fortress, was it?
It might have been.
Okay.
It might have been. But to me, that was like the second coming of Half-Life from my understanding, right? Because it had like Half-Life was very big on PC, but like PC gaming at that point was still like kind of an underground thing.
Yeah.
And then when the Orange Box came out, like that's to me when Valve exploded.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, good call on that one, man. I remember that coming out for PC. I didn't realize that was also 360.
It came out for 360 first.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Orange Box was exclusive to Xbox 360, and then Portal came out on PC when they did Portal Still Alive, which was an extra 8 levels, and it was standalone, so you could get it on PC or 360 to get the extra levels.
Gotcha.
You could get the Orange Box for PC as well before that, but you had to get the Orange Box.
Right, you had to get the whole Orange Box.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Portal Still Alive was the entire Portal experience.
Yeah, that was the only way to get a standalone experience.
Yeah. Yep. All right, so I had some of the ones I'll run through: Mass Effect, Skate, Guitar Hero. I am gonna say Halo 3 was like the end of like the original trilogy because then they switched to like ODST.
Yeah.
And they went away from Master Chief as being the primary subject.
Right.
And then like they did Reach as well. So like they really stepped away from that story.
Yeah.
And I think just like the conclusion of 3 being on 360 is significant.
Yeah.
Fable 2 I know we didn't. No one liked Fable, including myself. But I actually think Fable 2 was one of the better games.
Oh, okay.
And I think it drew a lot of people to the 360 as well.
Gotcha.
So that's like that's a very objective pick.
Yeah.
I will say, having
that's
not
fine.
played that in years, I'm just going to just
Leave
it
it
out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
From what I remember, Fable 2 was fucking incredible.
Gotcha. Just don't play it again. Don't ruin it.
I might not. I might never play that game again.
Leave that one on the shelf.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. All right. Console defining. I'm mimicking a lot of what you guys have already
good.
said. Left 4 Dead, Gears of War, Mass Effect, Dead Rising, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
All right.
I think they just
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with
With the selection, yeah.
Yeah, I think 360 was one of the, like, going back through this, and I just think about like all of our like early adult lives, like the 360 was like the console.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the 360 did for a lot of people what the Nintendo did for like
Our
the
parents.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or just even
the generation in between.
Right.
Yeah,
that's the way it feels for me.
for sure.
You know,
It was a
like,
giant boom.
To me, the 360 hit at like the perfect age where like I could afford it. I had time to play it. I was mature enough to understand the games. I, could buy the games. Like I had full access to it. Like there was a lot of things going on for me that made it the perfect. Like it was a perfect moment in time to have that console come out.
Right.
And then Microsoft just bent you over and fucked you.
Yep.
so much anger in his face on that.
Joe got his vengeance.
Yeah.
Dude, I to be fair, like I said, I went through like a half a dozen consoles, and honestly, most of them, like I never got banned. I only lost consoles due to the disc issue
Yeah.
that Steve had and Red Rings.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I had 4 360s in total.
Yeah. I had 4 as well, actually.
Yeah.
I had the one.
See that's shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
It's really
you know what the
shitty.
worst part is? When we bought our house, right? I was like fucking getting rid of shit. I went to GameStop to trade in my 360, and like I was like, I'm gonna get like $10, right? I didn't care because it was fucking $10, or I was throwing it in the garbage.
Yeah.
So I went to GameStop, and I had the controllers and everything like that. They were like, "Oh, you don't have the video cable," and I was like, "Okay." And they're like, we have to charge you $25 for the video cable. And I was like,
I'm sorry, what?
And I was like, okay, so what's the trade-in on the console? And they were like $20. And I was like, so I have to pay you $5 to take this console right now?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so
GameStop.
I was like, what's the trade-in credit on a controller? And they were like $15. And I was like, hold on, I need to have a controller to trade in this console. And they were like, yeah, but if I give you just the controller, it's $15.
Like,
And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to give you the controller. And I'm going to throw this out outside. And if you grab it, I don't care.
It's yours, bud. It's yours.
oh my god. Oh, one thing that I wanted to bring up that I thought was fucking amazing. The chat pad for the controller.
Yeah.
I have a PS4 one. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, I mean, for 360 when that came out, and just again with the way it sat in, where it didn't really felt like it inhibited like holding the controller or anything.
They always bother me.
But just having that,
My fucking ring finger and pinky are too long
Dude,
for that shit.
The 360 one, I think, was fucking perfect, man.
Yeah.
I had
Can't use
mine
them.
on forever.
Yeah.
And like,
I could talk so much shit on that thing if I didn't feel like
you could
being
message
on a
and talk
headset.
so much shit.
Yeah.
Dude, it was great though for fucking Final Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Because you just
It was
didn't need
necessary.
to sit a fucking keyboard on your lap. You could sit there with the chat pad and you just had everything. It was
Yeah.
fucking great.
It was basically like a full QWERTY keyboard, just right there at your thumb tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. I got to the point one time where I was getting so tired that I was just like passing the fuck out. So I was just using the keyboard for the game. I was just like, Because there's just little like micro movements with my thumb.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, move over here.
I can do this.
Yeah. Hit 1 macro, hit 2 macros, hit 3 macros. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got one for the PS4 or anything, but that one for the 360, I fucking love that thing.
Yep.
I gotta turn around and sell my Wi-Fi adapter. I still have that. Remember?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Remember the Xbox 360 didn't have Wi-Fi?
No, you had to hardwire that
You
thing.
had to buy the fucking external adapter that was USB to plug it in the back of the console.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, man.
They're still worth money.
Gotta sell it.
The day and age we lived through video games where you couldn't just like hook it up to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, wait till we talk about fucking PlayStation 2.
Oh, God. The
I
network
got
adapter.
some fucking stories.
Do you still want to see your old console? Because it's sitting out in my living room right now.
No, I fucking get a hernia picking the damn thing up.
Man, PS2.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
get
for-
there.
That's
Yeah,
for another
we'll
day.
get
Future
there.
episode.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, join us in 2 weeks for our review. All right, guys. Well, stay lovely.
I love you guys.
Stay sexy.
Stay safe.
Touch it.